I think we're live. Are we live? Are we live? We're live. 1, 2, check. 1, 2, 2, 2. Back in a sec, guys. Sorry guys, I just had to check on my mum's phone if we were live. Yes, we are. Oh, I didn't watch these. Optic Gaming beat 35 up, I don't know what that is. Yeah guys, I will be playing today as well, because look, if you see here, this is Black Ops 3, but this is live on Infinite Warfare at the moment, everybody. Yes, we are live. Woo! It's a bit, but I'm watching this from Call of Duty Black Ops 3, but this is Infinite Warfare. No, we don't. No, we don't. Don't shout, Poppy, I'm doing a video. They just heard you. They did. Sorry about that, guys. That was my little sister. But yeah. Guys, remember what I said in my video? Look, I might be in red. I know I'm not, but I didn't know Red are playing today. Didn't know they were like a proper competitive team. Optic, Jesus, that's a long time away. Optic will be playing against Just listen. Yeah, but guys, I think Optic, not Nade isn't an Optic, but I think Optic Pomage is in this. Please, if you're in it or watching, I know FaZe Clan will be watching this live. Like the actual proper FaZe Clan, like FaZe Rain, FaZe Apex. I'm not sure about FaZe Banks because he lives with Rice Scum.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to coverage of the 2017 CWL Championship. Oh, I'm so excited to be here. I'm not even going to lie. Of course, group play well and truly underway now. We still have one game currently going on Station 4. That is Elevate versus Project Evil. Of course, Project Evil able to win the uplink, make it a 2-1 advantage in favor of Elevate. That's now joined at the desk by the wonderful European Momo. Matt's joining me as well as Christopher Puckett once again. But I want to jump straight to you, Momo. Talk to me a little bit about this Elevate squad. Obviously, they perform so
guys,
badly.
I know, like, competitive teams, right? They snipe.
The regular stages.
They don't do
now,
this
what improvements have they made that you know of?
I mean, straight away, I do want to point out for those guys, that was an embarrassment for them. You know, 0-18, they didn't win a map, they didn't win a series. It was an embarrassment. They've had this European pre-LAN where they've been amongst the best of Europe, so they've really had a chance to kind of work on certain things. Now, in particular, you know, I don't know exactly what, I think they've just had to work on everything. Let's be honest, nothing was great for these guys. But they play best when they're fired up. We all know what Reed is like, and obviously a bit of social media drama before these guys were talking trash to Elevate.
Just a little bit. Yeah, Chris, obviously you mentioned that earlier on. Both these two teams make a little bit of a rivalry, it seems.
I love it. You know, this is kind of like two tier 2 teams battling, and both of them have a lot to prove this tournament. Project Evil, they've showed their potential while they're playing under Panda. I think a lot of people kind of wrote them off after we didn't see a strong Anaheim performance, but they're always a threat. Elevate, we always knew the potential, and at the very start of the year, Elevate was contesting for the #1 team in Europe. A lot of people thought that this squad that was coming together could do something in IW.
They were horrible
Let
in
me
stage
just check
2.
the time.
Far and away.
I might have to get my sister soon. I think it might be either in an hour.
I mean, both, right?
They didn't win a map.
I mean, they didn't win a game. And right now, I mean, they're smashing Project Evil, which I think it just shows, like, the strength of the Global Pro League teams, right? I mean, you know, some teams come into the Global Pro League, they don't win games, they don't win series, and we just kind of write them off. But there's still that skill gap between, you know, the Global Pro League teams and the teams from the qualifier is still pretty large.
Of course, don't write Project Evil out just yet. Still potential for a bit of a comeback. But
is there, Ben?
I mean, there's always potential. There's always potential. You can never write off comebacks.
Don't lie to the people.
I mean, I expect Elevate to close it out, yes, Matt. But, you know, I'm a man of storylines, Matt. I love a good comeback story every now and then. But, Phil, do you see any chance personally?
I think the way that Elevate are playing on the respawns, I was actually behind them and watching them play, and they feel like a different team. Not internally, not as in the game, but just the way that they're communicating, they're fired up. When they won that first map, which was so close, I could see them just taking this series, and we know that Project Evil very good uplink, but I think this is ended.
Yeah.
Well, there's no downside for Elevate, right? I mean, you were so bad during stage 2 that, I mean, coming in here and winning games, like, that was, I don't want to say that's the expectation, like, just to come in and win games, but you get a very good first series here, maybe get a win, a lot of confidence the rest of the weekend.
Current score in this one, 140-76. Going to pull away from this one and just take a quick look at our schedule of games, because our second set of games are now about to get underway. Of course, we will keep you updated with the Elevate versus Project Evil matchup. The 11:30 scheduled games, E United versus Mindfreak on Station 1. LG take on Supremacy on Station 2. Infuse versus Lethal Gaming on Station 3. And as soon as the Elevate matchup finishes, we'll have Rise versus Vitality. But that matchup on Station 1 is about to get underway. It's E United versus Mindfreak.
And here we go, Matt. E United, Mindfreak coming in. E United, the heavy favorite in this battle. For Mindfreak, though, this is a squad I was pretty harsh on. You know, I expected a lot from Australia. They didn't really get anything done so far in 2017. They had opportunities, but every time we went to an open event, the pool play, it wasn't the performance we expected from them. They did have a little bit of a loser's bracket run at times, but going up against Clayster's new squad, E United, you have to think they are the heavy underdog.
Oh, without a doubt. Speaking to Clay and, you know, some of the United guys, like, they feel very strongly that this is their tournament to win. Like, they come in here, you know, the favorites in this matchup, favorites in the group, you know, maybe even one of the overall favorites. And on the side of Mindfreak, I think, have to prove the APAC region is still strong. I know they've kind of, you know, lived off of this, you know, top 5 finish a few years ago. You know, they've had some rough performances in the Global Pro League at the open events. You know, they pick up Dens again for Excite. Thing that's going to make a big impact, and it really doesn't off the rip. So I think this is a big event just in overall terms of, you know, at the APAC region asserting their top spot amongst the guys in Call of Duty.
Now the good news for Mindfreak, this is your second best hardpoint breakout. They currently have a 50% win rate with Dens on the roster, and they do just now take the lead. But if Mindfreak is going to win in this series, there's 2 players to account for. It's going to be Shox for me and also Buzzo. Shox, we saw his potential. Stage 1, he was topping the leaderboard in so many categories. He was an all-star that weekend. On the other end, Buzzo, he's been your anchor at times. He brings you down. He wasn't able to keep up with the rest of the pack, and he simply wasn't scoring. He's had great games throughout Stage 2, but he's inconsistent. If they want to beat E United, you need strong 5-game series out of Buzzo, because I think it's got to go the distance.
Well, the thing with Buzzo is he's a very slow player, right? He likes to play at a distance, does not like to push up a lot. You need him to play fast. You need him to play aggressive. But the way Infinite Warfare is, you get some of these AR players like Clayster, like RC, set up in these power positions. They can start rallying off, dozens of kills. Where Buzzo, you don't see that at all. So it puts a lot of pressure on the rest of his team to kind of be those aggressors and be able to take those AR players out at range with your submachine guns, with your K-bars. Makes it very difficult for the rest of Mindfreak. Buzzo, I think, needs to go big for them this weekend if they're going to advance out of groups.
Clayster, the AW champion on your screen right now, currently on a 3 streak. And you see the Scarab scouting out for him. Teammate Arcides is inside the hill scoring with his twin brother Pristini. So a nice setup here on Graves, but some splits coming in on the mini-map. Those pink arrows coming from all directions, but look at that feed. Nothing but blue, all 4 down. Clayster on a 5 streak. He's 225 away from the Trinity.
But there's the problem with Mindfreak. In those type of situations, who's got to be the first guy that picks somebody up? It's got to be your assault rifle player. There's no way with Clayster or another top flight AR player playing inside of the caves that you're going to send your ERAD player in there and he's going to win a medium to long range gunfight. You need Buzzo to be the one that picks somebody off, lets everybody else flood in. Because they're not able to do that, it's going to be a full 60-second hold there for Reunited. Now they've blown open a big lead.
And I was going to say, with the addition of Dens to the squad, that pressure isn't solely on Buzzo's shoulder. You see Dens running the NV4 quite a bit throughout Stage 2. And we will see what he can bring to the table, because coming into this squad, I always thought Dens was the greatest player in Australian history. We saw him in Ghost. We saw what he could do in previous titles. But throughout IW, it's been a bit lackluster since he joined this squad. Even when he was on Tainted Minds, I remember watching games where he would double his teammate's score.
Yeah, on Tainted Minds, look, I mean, they did not have the best of talent. Dens was clearly their best player. You looked at his stats after a lot of the events. They were absolutely sick. But he comes back to Mindfreak, and when you're on Tainted Minds, you haven't made it out of groups, you haven't played against top competition all year, it's very difficult to get readjusted to the speed of the game, what other teams are trying to do. And I think, inserting him into Mindfreak, they probably expected it to just kind of do it with ease, and it has not worked out like that.
I've been impressed with Buzzo over the last 2 minutes, I'm not going to lie. Dens was there to support, but E United, they're in total control of this game. 132 to Mindfreak's 45. We go to the central rooftop, and it's all Clayster getting the feed. Another 2-piece. He is at 11 and 7. Pristini on the opposite side, he is going to be at 10 and 9. And I love the slow pace from Clayster, the super fast pace you're going to see from Pristini from E United all weekend long.
Right now, E United blowing out Mindfreak here in their first map, and this is an MF team. We've seen them tweet about it. A lot of supporters from their region this weekend want to make them proud. This is not a great start, Chris. I mean, when you had a rough Stage 2 and you came in here, you expected to kind of right the ship. Obviously, E United a very difficult matchup in this first round, but still, you expected it to be closer than this.
And just to give you guys kind of an idea of how these two teams performed in Stage 2, when it came to Hardpoint, only Fida from MF had above a 1.0 KD. That's more kills than they had deaths. On the other side, everyone from E United was positive. You had Silly at the very bottom at 1.0. But then you have Clayster, who's number 6 overall in the tournament at a 1.22. E United straight up gets kills, and that's what you're seeing in this game so far. The last 2 minutes, though, Mindfreak showing some more life. You got Buzzo, positive 3, currently on a 3 streak. You've seen some strong play out of Shox, and Fida with some good opening kills. But Fida, negative 6 at this point. He's the other half of your Bash Brothers of Shox and Fida. You need more out of the young Australian.
Yeah, it was Mindfreak in control of the hard point here on cell block early, but it's United able to break. They go all the way around. They're able to kill Buzzo, and then they get control of the spawns. And now you see they just flood on in, take out the rest of MF. Looked like MF was going to get a good hold there, maybe 40 seconds or so. They do not get the remainder of that time. So E United will take the last few seconds, and E United has rotated here over towards Graveyard. And you see Clay, just the threat of him on this dozer. Mindfreak does not want to push in.
And I think Clayster actually blew up the Scarab coming in from Shox. The assisted suicide is going to set up E United once again. A big gunfight at the top of the map. Pristini and Clayster were in a 2-on-2. Pristini up once again. Buzzo is here to contest, and it looks like Mindfreak is actually going to have early control. So a big fight, one from the Australians. Here's where you can start scoring back. There's still 40 points to score on the Graveyard. How do you hold off E United here?
Oh, well, I mean, if you are MF, obviously you have to figure out where the spawners are coming from on E United, and you know you're focused just straight in front of you. You know you're spawning up behind. There's no reason to really watch that, maybe in case of a flanker. But you see Dance, I mean, just these pot shots, you know, putting the damage down on the guys in the window, pushing them further back. That's how you got to hold that down.
Here comes a long flank from Arcides. He's going to try and give his teammates the new respawns, but it's going to be blue in the kill feed. Arcides now has 2 more supporters. They're going to be pinching from the back grave for the players that are trying to rotate to commissary. And Arcides is just going to back up, make sure they have total control. Nice rotation from E United. They gave up 40 points there. It is just a 45-point game, but E United should be in control for our next 60 seconds.
Yeah, but it's fine. I mean, commissary is a hill you can take a ton of time on. Arcides and Clayster, a kill each here on the rotation. Pristini coming to help his brother out here, and now it should be E United able to hold onto this hill, and now you see Mindfreak where they're spawning at the bottom of the minimap. They have to go either across that wall run with his death trap or go towards that middle of the map, which takes a lot longer. So it's a really good hold here from E United.
And Shox just made some huge plays. You saw Arcides totally lost him. Shox gets away with his life. In fact, I thought he was going to cause bigger issues, but Clayster will find him on the flank. So no real threat for E United. They're going to have total control. I thought Mindfreak had the opportunity, and that may cost them here. E United 25 points away from taking our first game.
Yeah, I mean, Shox gets behind enemy lines, but his teammates still spawning at that wall run, so they're so far away, they're not able to really make anything happen there on commissary. Pristini's had a fantastic game 1, 22 and 18 on a 3 streak right now. We talk about him, you know, one of the best, you know, up there, you know, in your top 5, definitely in terms of ERAD players here in Infinite Warfare.
You know, FaZe couldn't get gunless. They were talking about what other names are attractive to him. Pristini was on that short list. You want a guy who can play with his speed, constantly put pressure on the opponent. Shox, though, on the flank once again finds one. Can he do more? Nope, it's Clayster waiting for him. What a blowout here. 20 and 15, 21 and 16 from Arcides and Clayster. Pristini at 23 and 20. It's silly getting the objective work done. Almost doubling their opponents. It is E United with total control, 250 to 126 in our first game.
Well, a fantastic start for E United in terms of their group campaign. A 1-0 lead currently against Mindfreak. Elsewhere, though, Elevate versus Project Evil. We'll take a look at how that series closed out. It did go in Elevate's favor. They win the hardpoint 250 to 207. Thus giving Elevate a 3-1 series advantage. They'll win the first series, Momo. So this has started off much, much better than, of course, the regular game.
Oh, absolutely, Zed. He spoke to me at the likes of Anaheim saying, you know, I've been to 3 events, I've not won a series yet. And, you know, this is, you know, when they need to turn up, everyone knows it's chance, and yes, it's Project Evil, not a global pro league team, but take what you can from this series. Project Evil are a very good uplink squad, but Elevate, they close it out in 4. They can go on, they'll be happy with that. We all know the trash talk before the game. They'll be able to move forward and really try and gain some momentum.
Yeah, I thought this is one of the tightest races for second place. For Elevate to get the win over Project Evil, that may seal their way to the championship bracket. All you have to do now is beat Mindfreak Black, right?
Well, Project Evil, too, is one of the stronger teams, I feel like, coming out of the LCQ. So to see them lose to Elevate there shows you Elevate's playing pretty well this weekend.
Elevate definitely playing well, but don't count out Mindfreak Black. We obviously saw them take an S&D off Team Envious earlier on. But elsewhere, we can go to a replay of what happened at Station 2. This, of course, was LG versus Supremacy. It's a Group D matchup. As expected, Chris, LG come out all guns blazing. Final score of this one, very, very heavy in LG.
And Classic is the man again. You saw him in Stage 2. You could see what he was doing back at Anaheim. Positive 10 to finish things out. Incredible stuff from this Luminosity team. You look on the other side and you just have to feel for the boys. Easy Vortex balls. What are you going to do against a super stacked team like LG?
You got to say, though, when I was watching this game just on the side here, it was like 100 to 100. It was pretty even. I was thinking, okay, they're making something. And then LG, it's just they stepped up a gear. You know, they stepped up maybe 3 gears, actually, and it turned into a one-sided affair.
Now going to a live looking of that series. Currently only 2 matches going on here at the 2017 CWL Championship, presented, of course, by the PlayStation 4. And Matt, Supremacy actually in the lead here in the Search and Destroy.
Even if they win this, Ben, there's still some respawns coming up. So, I mean, unless they... unless they go to the bathroom, swap some players out or something, I don't know. I don't know how they're going to beat LG in a respawn. So I obviously this is a must-win. But I think in the case with any Luminosity series, you need to see a team, like, unless a team wins a respawn, like it doesn't really feel like a real series to me. Like, it's a lot like, you know, how they say like a basketball series, like in the playoffs, like doesn't start until you win like a game on the other team's home court. I kind of feel like that with this series, with Luminosity in general. Right? I mean, unless you win a respawn game mode, I don't kind of, you know, see the series going that far.
And I'll take it a step further. I think you can beat LG by 1, maybe 2 points in uplink, but I want to see you beat them in a hard point. If you can beat LG in a hard point, you can beat them in a best of 5. But man, this is a tough squad to deal with. Supremacy in a 1v1 here. Big round for Tony. Can he get it done against Classic?
Who you guys got? I got Classic.
Tony. I got Classic, 100%.
Tony! Not going to happen.
Matt just looks at me like, yeah,
we knew
good
that.
pick.
As soon as I saw Classic go off the wall run, I was like, this is such a good idea.
Tony, yeah, didn't really have much of a chance there, did he?
To be fair, I mean, Classic, we've talked about him as you know, a top 5, a top 3. This, I mean, how do you not pick him? Octane's having some fun as well.
Octane picked Classic as well.
Yeah.
That's the thing about Octane. He's the type of guy who can just sit back, put his feet up, and still just destroy it. It really is extremely scary.
And I do want people to keep your eyes on Easy throughout this tournament. He is one of the best players we've seen come out of France, or at least representing a French team. So keep your eyes on this guy. We're going to go back to our stage number 1. Looking forward to this battle once again. It's Mindfreak who needs to steal a search and destroy against E United. Just like Supremacy, you're going to be the heavy underdog in those respawns. Can you take a victory here as we go into search, Matt?
I feel like E United is just a very strong team in all game modes. I know Search and Destroy. We've seen them do some very nice things. Even when they had Gunless on the roster, you add Clay. Now you pick up another sniper, right? I mean, we've seen Arcees run the sniper, Clayster, Pristini on certain maps. So I think just a very overall strong team in Search and Destroy is E United. I think it's going to be very tough for Mindfreak.
Buzzo on your screen here for Mindfreak as they'll be on the attack first in Search. Of course, in this game mode, you only get 1 life per round, and looks like that bomb will be going down, and Celia's going to get dropped first. So a man advantage for Mindfreak, everything going in your favor. What do you do if you're E United? Well, now you're in a 2v4. Good luck, Twins.
Yeah, it looks like Silly falls off the map at the beginning. Potentially, could have gotten bumped on the wall run or something, but to be Pristini and his brother Arcees, it was a 3v2.
Oh, no.
And now it is United able to clutch up, and that is a awful round for Mindfreak. You spot them a player, you see Clace there on the screen, he just looks down towards his teammates, he's like, what is that? Like, how are you able to win that round?
And I believe there's a team kill that came in as well for Mindfreak, so you just totally blew up, and that is not how you turn the tide.
No, it is a unfortunate round for MF. If you're looking to build any kind of confidence coming out of the hard point, in Search and Destroy, you have a clear advantage in round number 1, and you totally give it away.
Tough start here for Mindfreak, a round that was all in your favor. You just blow it. How do they play on defense? So it's E United on the attack, and you're going to see the bomb moving up in the hands of Arcees, who's currently sitting at 1-0. Pristini leading the lobby at 2-0 on your screen.
Well, you play to your strengths here if you're a United. You get the bomb down inside. You have a dominant submachine gun player like Pristini. He's able to draw first blood. And now Mindfreak, they have to run at you and challenge you gun on gun. You really like your chances if you're a United.
And you can see player number 6, Clayster, is way back on that mini-map watching the flank. So everyone just has to look forward here. Win the 1v1. Shock's going to challenge in, and he will find one. Can he find a second? He does with the help of Buzzo. So all of a sudden, Mindfreak has control inside. The time is against them, and all they have to do is pick up Pristini. But Pristini, with that kill, may have won the round.
Yeah, because now it's going to put Buzzo in a situation where he has to defuse the bomb. And right there, I mean, you can't fire a few shots and try and run away. Like, you just got to fight the gunfight. Pristini wins it. Believe he'll start things off at 5-0. It's going to be very close to score streaks and getting closer to that payload ability.
Wow, 2 rounds that Mindfreak has the opportunity to steal. Instead, it's going to be E United with the lead, and we will see them back on the defensive end. Mindfreak will be attacking. The bomb carrier going to be Shocks, and of course, he is going to be a camo player to look out for. On the other side, E United, they switched up the payloads throughout the year. Pristini is now going to be your camo player, and he is 50 points away from unlocking Trinity rockets. Look how aggressive he's playing anyway.
If you're a United, why would you slow down at all? I would just keep playing fast, challenge gunfights here against Mindfreak. So you see, they're going to go on a very long flank. It'll be Buzzo, the one responsible for taking him out. He's able to get one, not able to take out Silly, so we'll be at a 3v3.
It's a good job from Buzzo, though. Just trade out 1v1. Bombs down. You're playing for time, and those are 2 more kills. Mindfreak, don't throw 3 in a row. Arcides draws 1. Has 2 more players to deal with. It's Fida and Dens. And Arcides is going to win the fight versus Fida. Just jumps on the bomb. Where is Dens? Look at the mini-map. Dens is so far away. Does he get here in time, Matt?
He does. He does. Dens comes through the mid-cut. He's able to take out Arcides while he's on bomb. Mindfreak wins their first round. Definitely scary there towards the end of that one.
Oh my goodness. Arcides was about a second away. Here's the instant replay. Arcides just powering his way through. Fida instantly jumps on the bomb, and you see that arrow on the minimap in the top left. Dens having to wiggle through the corridors, hits every last bullet to take down Arcides, but that was too close for comfort if you're Mindfreak.
Yeah, I think Dens probably had an extra 2-3 seconds there to get towards bomb, but definitely not a situation you want to be in. As I know, during the playoffs for Stage 2, we saw a lot of ninja diffuses, players just being able to defuse the bomb with others alive. So, be Pristini drawing first blood. Pristini picking up a second kill already with active camo here in round number 4. It'll be quick kills coming in from E-United as they take their third round.
United just flopping around, picks up the kills, and the trade's outside. Straight up gunfight's going to go to them. I was a little bit worried. Your bomb carry got picked, and I thought the bomb might drop off the ledge. Doesn't matter, though. All the kills are scored, and E-United in total control of game number 2. They have a 2-round lead, and you got to look at Pristini throughout this one. Already, he has the camo unlocked, 7-2.
And I wonder if he decides to use it early. If he uses it here, let's say E-United wins a round, goes up 4-1. Even if MM is going to come back, you think maybe he gets that camo again if he keeps up this strong play. So we'll see how they decide to use that active camo, how they'll play around it.
I don't know if you need to, honestly, if you're United. I expect them to save it a little bit later in the game. Trophy system going to block the early grenades. Arcides knows where they're set up, and he is going to wait for the help of Clayster. Mindfreak waiting for that intro push.
You wouldn't mind using camo here to break. It's just whether they want to use it early. So here comes the camo from Pristini. He's going to take out Buzzo, now get behind enemy lines. Not going to be able to pick up a second kill, but still, just the positioning he gets there swings the round in E-United's favor. When you get behind that box and you're able to take that person out, it's going to split the players on Mindfreak. So you have to look behind you, respect that Pristini's there, know there are players flooding through the other side. Makes it very difficult to defend.
Matt, is it a confidence play to pop the camo early in a map?
Well, I think with the way that he's playing, I think you have a decent chance, let's say if Mindfreak were to come back, to be able to, get another camo if you're Pristini. So I think that's the kind of logic there.
And there is a look. United 2 rounds away here in game number 2. Currently a 1-0 lead in the best of 5. And we will see what they can do back on the attack. You see the bomb moving directly to the bomb site. Those pink arrows, the purple arrows, so far away. Mindfreak's going to be on the flank. Clayster's going to be the player from E-United to spot them. And this bomb is going to go down safely. You have player 8, that's Pristini, working with his twin brother Arcides. And they're going to find Buzzo.
Yes, I was going to say, as long as Clay got one, they were in good shape. And you saw he tags up Fida. But then Dens actually gets a team kill there. And you see kills traded out from both sides. It'll be a 2v2 here. And E-United has bomb down.
Shock's going to get picked. It's Arcides with the win. And now it's E-United on game point.
E-United 1 round away here from taking a 2-0 lead in this series. Arcides here at the end, able to take out Shocks, and you see the United guys extremely confident here. No worries against the United, against Mindfreak.
Look at Arcides' smile, man. He's fired up. We were watching the recon piece, and E-United, they're playing so confident this weekend. They feel this is their tournament. You kind of touched on it before. They are playing like it here, going up against a team that is in the top 16, one of the best squads in the world in Mindfreak, but honestly, throughout this series, they have looked simply outclassed. You're going to see the payloads going down. Centurion on the floor, but Buzzo is going to draw the first pick here on Clayster. So a good open here for Mindfreak.
And the United's been very aggressive at the beginning of these rounds. Doesn't really matter if they get first blooded or not. They still feel great about taking them. It'll be MF getting bombed down. We'll see how E-United tries to break in here. Pristini gets one. It's going to be Arcides actually blowing up his brother with the trophy system there as Arcides takes out another, evens it up at 2 players apiece, and We'll see. RC's now with streaks. He's going to call him in right away. The Trinity's going to get one. They know exactly where this last player is. Oh, but there at the end, it was actually RC's that blows up.
Is that my rocket?
How did he die here at the end?
Let's watch this again. The FTL jump is coming through.
We're not going to see it. So his own rocket there, so he shot it down so fast and got out of it that he ended up hitting himself with his own Trinity rocket.
You can't defuse if you're dead. Round's
to give
over.
MF a round. You know, I mean, look, I've seen rounds end in a lot of odd ways, and that is definitely one of the weirdest. Killing yourself with your own Trinity rocket as the only one alive as you win a gunfight.
Welcome to the not top 5, Arcitys.
It's not even it's almost impressive. like it's not even like
mad.
I'm not even really upset. Like, I think it's just really odd as Clay picks up 2 kills. This should be where it ends here for Mindfreak. Arcitys just blows up Clay with the bombardment. It's only 1 player alive though here.
So far, Arcitys has blown up his twin brother. He blows up himself, a teammate, and they still win the game 6-2.
One of the weirder ways a search and destroy will end. You see the bombardment call down right on the rest of his teammates. Just gives you a sense of how relaxed, how confident E United here is against Mindfreak.
Now, of course, 2-0 up in that series. Elsewhere, though, in the group stages, LG took on Supremacy. Of course, they cruised through map number 1. We can take a look at what happened in the search and destroy. And remember, this one was surprisingly close.
Yeah, this was a bit of a strange one. We're jumping in on 5-5, but I want to recap. Supremacy was up 5-2. They had all their payloads. You can see easy on 14 kills here, but every single time it started to slip away. But the interesting thing about this 5-5, you know, how they got there was, we were kind of watching it, Ben, was a 4v2 in favor of Supremacy that they lost. It did go down to the wire. Luminosity, though, it turns to a 2v2, leaving Moles all on his own. He had Reactive, which was the most bizarre thing in the world. It was like Supremacy just, their brains kind of just disappeared for a second.
And to your point as well, I believe they had, what was it, like a 3-2 lead in favor of Supremacy, and then you look at that game and you're thinking, all right, Supremacy should close it out. The round 10 was just absolutely bizarre.
Yeah.
As you said, it was a 4 versus 2 that they completely threw away. Octane uses camo in what was, at the time, I believe, a 2 versus 3, and Sage just killed 2v4, and Sage basically just killed everyone. It was crazy to see. Really, really
What more can Easy do? 14 kills against Luminosity in a search.
Nothing.
Yeah, pretty much.
I think the
nothing
first,
else to do.
the 14 kills as well came in, I'd say, the first kind of like 9 rounds.
Right.
But then it just kind of all fell apart for Supremacy.
You can only do so much.
Yeah.
You can.
They needed that one.
Elsewhere, though, Lethal going up against Infuse. We can take a look and see how map number 1 went in terms of that. I believe it was Lethal that took it. We'll take a look at the replay of the closing moments. Of course, this a Group C matchup. Lethal with a pretty comfortable lead, 241 to 193. And no shocker, Human Jesus, a name that we're kind of getting a little more comfortable with saying more and more. And he's playing very, very well, as we expect. 23 and 14 right now, Chris.
This little guy's fun to watch, I'll tell you that. I mean, Human Jesus, he was fun to watch at the LCQ. You saw rough games from Clink, you saw rough games from Juju, but I felt like Human Jesus, he was the guy you could see consistently dropping kills. To see him top of the leaderboard, no surprise, 250 to 201. It's a big win over the European team.
Yeah, and you see Infuse roster, and you'll notice a few of the names on it, like Nolson and Nile, and I feel like they're just kind of the leftovers of like that tier 1 of European players that kind of just dropped down. And I don't know how great their practice has been. I believe they were not at the EU pre-land, so with all the top teams in Europe coming to Orlando early and getting the practice in, you don't know what Infuse's practice schedule's been like.
Well, no games currently going on. Still waiting for Rise versus Vitality to begin as well. For now, we're going to do a quick commercial break. When we return, action continues. continues here at Group Play of the 2017 CWL Championship presented by PlayStation 4. Just to update you with currently where we are, Rise versus Vitality on Station 4. That game has only just begun. Infuse versus Lethal. Lethal is 1-0 up in that one. LG find themselves 2-0 up against Supremacy. And of course in our featured game, E United find themselves comfortably up 2-0. Even after some interesting mistakes which came through. Clayster's rolled a little bit of a slow search and destroy. Doesn't really matter. E United kind of just doing the business, Memo.
Yeah, I mean, they're turning up here. I actually, ironically, was speaking to Clayster before this, and before the tournament started, he was like, we're just excited to get into that bracket. Like, these first 2 days for E United, it's almost just like, the, you know, the warm-up, the stepping stones to that bracket, and you've got to respect that. I don't think that's, you know, overconfident. I think that's just kind of how it plays out, really.
You never know, man. You can't take teams too lightly, because upsets definitely happen here at the biggest tournament of the year. Well, without further ado, map number 3, Precinct Uplink, underway.
And jumping right back into it with Arcitys, the man who blew himself up with the Trinity rocket to lose a round of search and destroy and still get the win. Love watching this E United squad when it comes to uplink, and there you see the teamwork in the first 20 seconds. Already a pass coming in. Pristini is going to slam this one down.
And Chris, I think this is a game mode where if you were to say, you know, coming into the series, where can Mindfreak win a game? I don't think this one would have been it. No. I would have said it would have been your game 1 or your game 2. This is a game mode we've seen E United throughout the year has such great teamwork on. They're so talented in terms of slaying. You know, their positioning is always great. This will be the toughest game for MF to win against a team like E United. And E United gets a defensive hold here. Now they move the drone up a little bit towards the Mindfreak base and see if E United can turn this into points.
Since adding Dens, you got Mindfreak 1 and 3, a 25% win rate on this game type. On the other end for E United, since adding Clayster to the squad, they're 3-0. They have not dropped Precinct in any of their games throughout Stage 2. Arcitys is going to find the beat down on Shocks. 3 down for Mindfreak, and here comes another drone run. They're just waiting for Pristini and Clayster to get back into the mix. And look at the spawns. They're all back gas here for Mindfreak. Arcitys has them pinned. That's a good intro kill for Fido. Can they get to the drone in time is the question.
Well, there's 2 players here for E United, Clayster and Silly, trying to open up a lane for Pristini. Tries to go out the window, is going to get tagged up. Denzo on the defensive end picks up 3 kills. Stops E United from putting more points on the board. Big kills there from Dens.
And they're going to wrap this one low. A lot of times throughout the group stages, you saw everyone running cat statue. I like this switch up here from Mindfreak. May catch E United off guard, but as you say that 2 players are going to get dropped, it's all E United in the feed. And Matt, it looks like United is going to get the full hold here. It looked like Buzzo had an opportunity. Drone was on the ground behind him, though. Couldn't get it done.
Yeah, they try and catch E United off guard, but E United's defense just too strong. Now they're going to give them a decent opportunity to attack. So you see Arcitys going through that back alley. It's going to spawn Mindfreak up towards that top side, and maybe they can get the drone in the back alley or down that middle street, get a 1-point playoff, and this should be 2. It'll be Pristini going high off the wall run. Clay picking up some kills with the NB4. He's on a 5 streak, working towards score streaks. As E United's taking a 4-0 head start.
I got to ask you, man, out of all the guys in the tournament, I can't help but cheer for Clayster at this event. Is there one guy this weekend you're looking out for?
I think Clay, obviously, you know, with everything that he's gone through throughout the course of the year, as we see a 1-point play coming in for E United. And then I think you would kind of turn your attention to somebody like Scump, right? Can he get his first win at a COD Champs, his first ring? Now, do we see JCap sweep the last 3 champs, you know, kind of go, you know, AW Black Ops 3 in this champs and win? Or, I mean, do you see Karma get his 3rd ring? A lot of good stories coming into this one.
Lots of rings to look out for as the weekend goes on. There's a good hold from E United at first. There's the drone being passed back out. Mindfreak's going to go on another attack. They had a scoring opportunity in the last minute. Can they make this one count? It looks like E United has given up their base. Shocks isn't going to dunk it yet. He's going to wait for his teammates to score some kills, make sure they don't get counter-capped on here. And it looks like now your score is 2-5, but that could change if E United gets this to the top of the map.
Yeah, they do have drone towards this top side, does E United, but Buzzo picks up a first kill here. It's going to just let his team reset as now they're going to get into this position, try and push E United back. Maybe they can get some drone here, but Clay with the NV4 playing around this corner, you're going to need to try to trade this out. Dens goes high, is able to take him out. But that next kill needs to come in for Mindfreak, and that's the difference, Chris. You see when Dens picks up that first kill, slides on forward, that second player needs to be there faster, so he's not getting 2-piece like that.
We've seen some nice teamwork from Mindfreak on that last push, but they were just a little bit slow on the final kill. And that is why you still see Clayster causing problems here at the cat statue. He's buying enough time to get everyone back into position. The reinforcements are there to stop him. Scarab not going to do any damage here. Clayster looking for the pick, but Fida comes from the top. Arcity still focused on the drone, and a good defensive stand here from your Australian crew. 30 seconds left. They could cut this down to a one-point game. They're looking for the dunk. They got the opening kills, a clear path. They just have to take out Silly. They do, and it's in from Fida.
Yeah, and it was Dens leading the charge there for Mindfreak. Fida puts in the points. And they do still have control of the E United base. If they can get the drone out of that middle, maybe they're able to get some more points on the board. But is Pristini able to take out Buzzo before he can throw the drone towards that top side? No more points should go through here at the end. It should be E United up 1 going into half number 2.
Very impressive stuff from Dens on the defensive end. You saw a nice push in the end of that half as well. Mindfreak, they had opportunities to get some dunks, and E United had some nice defensive stands of their own. But a very tight game after our first 5 minutes. The question is, does Mindfreak have more? Can they take over the second half and force a game 4 hardpoint?
It's going to be very tough. You expect E United to come back here in the second half, not let up some points. But Mindfreak is on the side where we do see teams get some advantage of that back alley. You're able to put a lot of points on quick. It'll be kills from Clayster and Pristini to open things up. Buzzo picks up a 2-piece, though, so that's going to allow Mindfreak to get the drone at least out of that mid-map, maybe over towards this top side. You can push it on through.
And I think the difference here that we saw from E United, where we kind of expect them to be able to blow out win, well, you only had Silly on 7 kills. Meanwhile, Shox was positive 7 after our first 5 minutes of gameplay. Arcity's all over your kill feed, finds 3-1 on a teammate. But with 2 down from Mindfreak, it's going to be E United surging forward. And Arcity's, he's got 2 lead blockers in front of him. He has a player on the back end to make sure he doesn't get flanked. Only 1 player to deal with. He's just jumping around. Finally, Fight is able to connect with that E-Red. Mindfreak will live another day, and now they're going to try and wrap this one cat side.
And Arceus almost catches them off guard there for a second, because a lot of players go towards that right side to that back staircase instead of trying to run the drone like straight up the middle from that back alley. Almost gets by 1 or just close enough to get around that corner to get off a 1-point throw. It'll be 2 kills here for E United. You see the drone on the minimap down right to Silly's right. He's going to try and put some shots in. Buzzo misses them all, but they were really just kind of getting Pristini in that position. Maybe he's able to pick up a kill as now you see Silly answers one more. 1 player to beat here for Mindfreak. It'll be Dens yet again. I feel like he's been fantastic for MF on defense in this map so far.
Dens is now going to try and get the intro kills. There's the first. Knows there's a player in the window. Nice 2-piece from Dens. That's going to pave the way. But the drone would stop. Silly with the big kill will slow this one down. Fida is up. You're going to have player number 5, Arcity's into position first. He is dropped, and this is a 1-point play to tie it up from Shox. Shox not done yet. Is going to earn himself a camo. And the payloads could be the difference maker as we get down to the final 3 minutes. Buzzo with drone in hand is just trying to run this away from E United. Wraps it all the way back to his base. They're looking to get a full setup before they push forward.
And you got to wonder if Shox there would have been able to go in for 2. They had control of the E United base. They're picking up some kills. It's a 1v2, him and a teammate there. So the player on the base for United decides to shoot at Shox. The other guy picks up the kill, puts the drone in for 2. Or if, they don't shoot at the drone carrier, it's an easy 2 there from Shox, and MF would be in the lead. You got to wonder, maybe that one should have been a 2-point play there for MF.
I think that guy who is left was Clayster, and you know what Clay can do. They are respecting the skill of the E United players, playing it safe so far. E United, they're holding strong despite the FTL jump coming in from Dens. Not much more after that. Silly is starting to heat up. We talked about just 7 kills in your first 5 minutes, already 10 here in 2 minutes and 50 seconds of the second half.
Yeah, if Silly starts to heat up towards the end of this game, you expect E United to put more points on the board. But, MF, they get the drone back, but it's such an odd spot for it to be in. They're over by this gas station. You have players coming out of gas. You have E United controlling that mid-street. Even if they get control of drone here, Mindfreak, there's not really a great angle for them to make a play on getting a score.
Buzzo's holding his own throughout this series. Impressive stuff from Shox and Dens throughout game number 3. You need more out of Fida in your last 2 minutes if you're Australia. You want to go to another hard point. You're on match point for E United, and here comes the dagger. Pristini popping the camo. He is going to dunk this one in. I believe Shox is still going to have his camo, though, to answer back from Mindfreak. The question is, can you get him into a position to use it?
Well, you need to get map control before they even think about using it, because we've seen a lot of times, see Shox there die off the spawn, so now Mindfreak doesn't have control. It's like teams that have to use the camo just to get back towards mid-map to get that drone control. Arcides pops overdrive, going to go down towards this bottom side with the drone. Has a lead blocker here in Pristini. Pristini picks up 1 kill. That should be enough to get Arcides a score.
Distracting for the twin brother and picking up the kills on the way. Pristini helps give E United a 3-point advantage. Mindfreak, 50 seconds left. They need a quick toss and then a dunk. Buzzo gonna fall though. Everyone is getting dropped. No attempts here on the payloads because you can't even push up the map.
Well, yeah, here's the issue. It's the exact kind of situation I was talking about. It's now Shoxy has this active camo. When does he use it? He picks the drone up in his hands now and has no teammate support. Not gonna pop it in mid-map. 30 seconds left. He's had this camo
overdrive though
with about 2 minutes on the clock, and he hasn't got anything for it. I mean, you see Fighter there. He pops overdrive, goes mid-street. There's 3 players waiting there for E United. And see, look, now you're going to have to use just the camo here just to try and get closer towards the drone and make a play. You get nothing out of it. It's a good second half here from E United.
Man, what a difference maker Pristini was throughout this game with the ERAD. Arcides holding strong on the final defense as you saw the overdrive used by FIDA. E United with a clean 3-0 here over, in theory, the toughest competition they're going to see in their group.
Well, United starting off group campaign very, very well. Don't drop a map. Definitely room for improvement, but we talked about that earlier on. Of course, it is their group play games. Definitely not going kind of 100%, if you will, but still a good result over the Australians. Elsewhere in the tournament, though, Infused versus Lethal at Station 3. Here's a look at what happened in the search and destroy. Of course, it was Lethal that took map number 1. You can see a comfortable lead here for Infused.
Yeah, and again, Alex, the newest member, a very new member to kind of the European scene, they had a very strong lead in the hard point. They kind of threw that away. This time they closed things out on search and destroy. Keep your eyes out for Alex, obviously, kind of in future. This is a guy who's very young. He's kind of coming into the scene. It wouldn't surprise me if he finds himself on rosters going into the new season, if you like. So definitely one to watch. But of course, sitting 1-1.
And that series is set tied 1-1. Elsewhere, Station 2, the Bravo stream. That one, LG versus Supremacy. Well, this series is over. LG, a dominant win, but again, Mo, this was another weird kind of game to watch.
Yeah, let me just break this down for you. First 4 minutes, Luminosity are 10-0 up, and I'm like, okay, this is game over. The half ends at 15-0, yet the game ends at 15-4. And whether Luminosity just started chilling out for a bit, I don't know.
See, you've never beaten anybody that bad, so let me tell you what happens.
I did actually.
You get that big lead, and then everybody says, let's just post up and try and get as many kills as we can.
Pad them stats.
Played Bryce, 1v1.
You got to play for that KD leaderboard, right?
Don't take advantage of poor Brycey like that.
I didn't. I'm lying.
Of course. Elsewhere, Rise versus Vitality. That game has finally begun on Station 4. We can take a look at what happened in map number 1. This one goes in favor of Rise Nation. Final score, I believe, 250 to 200. Really, Vitality, not much they could do with.
I was going to say, honestly, we've seen Shane at how many champs so far? He's always here. He never has great success, but to see them within 50 points, I wonder, is this a sign that Vitality is going to play strong this weekend, or is this something we should be concerned about for Rise Nation?
I think as well, Rise were outslain there by like nearly 30 kills. They should be winning a lot more comfortably from that, but Shane, he's been a nuisance, but I think that for me should have been like a 250 to 100. When you're outslaying every single one, positive like 7, 8, it shouldn't be in question.
I actually spoke to Shane yesterday. He was like, I don't get it. I've been to every single $1 million tournament, and you guys all still think I suck. I'm like, well, you're pretty good. Obviously, if you keep making it.
I saw Shane
as well. How much have you won at those tournaments?
I was going to say,
important. That's not important. He won a lot of the original XP since then.
Nothing.
It's not been too good. We can go to a live look now at Station 3. Of course, this is Infused versus Lethal. This series tied at 1-1. They find themselves currently in an uplink on Precinct, and Infused with a 6-0 lead, member.
Alex, he's turning up. It's his first champs. He's ready to rock and roll. He found himself here, kind of jump up the hierarchy of European Call of Duty very, very quickly. I had no idea who he was. I went to CWL Sheffield, and he impressed me there, so I've kind of kept my eye out ever since, and he's been continuing to turn up. Obviously, both these teams last chance qualifiers.
Hug it, your boy Human Jesus. What's going on?
He's consistently slaying, Matt. That's what I said last time. He's going to do it in the second half. He's pulling a silly where you want to finish with 7 kills in your first 5 minutes. The second half is where you show up. But honestly, though, this match is really important right now because you look at the group, it's Group C. United, the clear favorite here. Mindfreak just got blown out by United. So now, whoever wins against Infused and Lethal Gaming, if you beat Mindfreak later, you could be heading to that championship bracket.
I think either of these teams has the potential to beat Mindfreak as well.
Well, I looked at this group and I thought, yeah, United, of course, #1. And then I just kind of automatically just put Mindfreak through, and looking at it now, you know, especially the way Infused are playing, I think they definitely can kind of steal that second place, find himself in the bracket. That'd be interesting.
I'm curious to know, in terms of this matchup specifically, coming in, who did you guys actually have winning this one? Because to me, this could well decide the group.
I would have said Lethal Gaming coming into this one. I did not know what to expect from an Infused roster that's kind of put together, you know, on spare parts. There's somebody, Alex, who we don't know much about. We didn't see him really play at all in the States, and knowing the EU pre-LAN was going on, you were worried about their practice at home. I mean, who really is there to practice? They could play against Vitality and some of the Tier 2 EU teams. So I was actually worried about Infused coming in, quite surprised.
On the flip side, I actually was going against Lethal Gaming. I was not impressed with the way they played at the LCQ.
Okay.
I thought they had a lot of weaknesses. At times, they were just throwing games away, and they really had to go to the final match to get in.
That sums it up pretty well.
Yeah. 8-0 here for Infused in the uplink. I think, the hard points, that could be the difference maker in this series.
I think going into this, it was one of those the two teams from last chance qualifiers where we know a lot about these teams, but also we don't know a lot of, there's a lot of kind of mishaps where, are they good at this, are they good at that, but I think it's one of those that I look at and think, yeah, it's probably going game 5, whoever turns up on the day wins, but I don't know, it just seems a little bit one-sided.
I actually think a lot of these games that are, your LCQ teams versus LCQ teams and whatnot, it really comes down to just who makes less mistakes. I feel like all of them are just pretty balanced. It's just who's hitting their one-point throws, who's rotating early, who's playing smart team play and search and destroy. I feel like, in terms of just like mechanical skill and just like aim and movement and whatnot, they're all pretty similar. It's just eliminating those small mistakes.
Well, if you look at these squads, I mean, Lethal Gaming, a lot of people remember them from Black Ops 3. They looked like they could be a threat in group stages last year. This year, you see Infused with Nolson and Nile, two guys who are in the top 16 of the CWL for the first half of the year. Nolson, at one point, was considered the best player on Millennium. Nile, he had some ridiculous games for Red Reserve. So when you look at just the names alone, I think you have to give the edge to Infused in this series.
Yeah, potentially. I mean, in terms of the score memo, it's 10-0. 3 minutes remain. Infused in the driving seat well and truly here. I mean, Nolson picks up another double. I mean, is this just Infused playing the game mode perfectly, or is it just mistakes coming in from Lethal?
I think there's definitely mistakes from Lethal, but Infused, they're simply outslaying. We talk about, how important it is to slay in a game mode like Uplink, but I always say this about LCQ teams versus another team. These guys have individually probably never played each other at all, not even on a different team, on a different roster, at a different event, maybe once in like an open bracket and an MLG maybe, but we see that, Optics and LGs play each other all the time. This, for me, is just one team. Their playstyle is clearly outshining Lethal Gaming. But in the halfway, I saw Infused in a huge lead. They just threw it away. Lethal Gaming, they bounced right back into it. But the S&D, that was all Infused.
I think we just got a little glimpse of what Alex is bringing to the table. Nice two-piece there to slow down the push. Infused looking pretty strong here. I mean, Zerk got a triple kill earlier.
Going, guys, I'm back.
What you expect out of Nolson and
How are you?
How far does this team go? On Friday.
I mean, to answer that question, I think it all depends on Infused versus Mindfreak. That matchup is basically... If Infused play like this, assuming Infused win this series as well, that could well be for second place, Matt.
And I called it. I didn't think that Mindfreak was getting through. I did not think they were heading to
Also,
the bracket.
guys,
This could come down
for
to
my
Infused versus Mindfreak. It could
Yeah.
come down to Lethal Gaming versus Mindfreak. Either of these two squads could be dangerous.
For
I
my
think watching these teams, I think either of these teams has
triple
a very
play
good chance
old
to beat
one.
Mindfreak.
Ironically,
think I
it could
only
come
need
down to this
20 more
match,
wins.
Because Mindfreak might not win against anyone. It's these two
That's
that are
true.
fighting for that second spot. I mean,
That's a good point.
United, I think, are a little bit ahead of all three, but
Just a little bit.
yeah, but it is kind of, for me, quite surprising how dominant Infused are right now. Because yes, I know they're a good team and highly regarded in Europe, but I
Guys,
don't think they
you
come
run
out
that
here
in?
and just kind of make Lethal Gaming look amateur.
It's the World Championship. It's the time to do it.
Yeah, I'm back.
It's right here, right now, this weekend.
There was one time to be good. This should be the time.
Guys, I'm just gonna check something. Hang on. Guys, I'm back.
Team, and again, sometimes when you get players like the likes of Niall and Nolson, even Zerg, you know, when we go back 12, 18 months ago, he was in, you know, the CWL. He's been amongst those players. This is a team which I look at, and I think they look right together. And me knowing a little bit more, obviously, about the European side is when Nolson was in Millennium, it just didn't feel right. Nolson, I think, has a lot more comfort here.
Completely agree. Of course, there's only one.
Poppy, I'm doing a video, shush.
On live, and that is
I'm doing a video, shush.
Vitality Rise took the first one. 250 to 200. I'm glad you noticed. He's 11-2. It's almost as if Shane was like, all right, boys, you've had your fun. You've had your banter on the desk. Let me show you why I continuously qualify for the $1 million tournaments. And I mean, it is a fantastic search.
Paying Activision back for these free trips, man. Giving us a good game here.
Best dressed player of all time as well. Shout out to Shane for his fashion sense. But coming in, he always just has fun these weekends. Now he's showing you why he's been a top-fledged player from the UK forever. This guy, he's been around since I remember coming over from Halo, seeing him like lighting people up, and he's also a trash talker. He'll let you know when he is winning.
I mean, remember, you actually competed against Shane many times.
Yeah.
I mean, he truly is a veteran of the European community.
He really is, and I'll be the first to say, you know, when you're playing a respawn game like Hardpoint, you know, you're not looking at Shane as like, oh my, he's going to be the biggest threat. You know, I'm stating the obvious. But he was that objective kind of base player which, you know, always like annoyed you. He was always shooting you in the back. Every time it's like, he shot me in the back again. Like, he's just behind enemy lines.
I mean, let's not forget, he was part of the Epsilon squad that famously beat Impact back in Black Ops 2.
Winning, guys. This goes more than 4 rounds.
What is going on? Like, he has been a part of some massive moments throughout his career.
Yeah, I mean, he's always been on one of the top teams in Europe. Like, I think Shane is like a fantastic player. Like, all jokes aside, right? I think, you know, this guy, obviously, he's, you know, been to every $1 million event for Call of Duty for a reason. Like, he always finds himself in a good situation. He's one of the selfless players. Like, a lot of players, you know, and they may play for their KD or whatnot. Shane is strictly just playing for the win. That doesn't excite him.
Guys, we're going to play a couple of games now. You check back in on that soon.
One-woman fire support team.
Yes, guys, I have got a sweaty class. Great. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo, catch a fish, bite, so if it bites, let it go. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Guys, we're only going to play a couple of games and then we're going to switch back up to watching the rest of that stream there. Check him out. He's a Bracker user. Is he still in the game? He left. Any Prestige Masters join, I'm going to check their stats. My highest level. Hang on, guys. So far, I'm the highest level in this game. Yeah, guys. The things I need, if I get the triple play, I need these. I've got the Banshee. I don't have the okay, I need both the snipers. Okay, and for secondaries, I don't have any of them. I have the Alpha Siege, but I don't have the max thing, and I only have one DLC weapon. Well, the prize fighters aren't classed as a DLC weapon, kind of. So technically, I only have, because like everyone's got them, but I only have, so basically I only have one DLC weapon. Yeah, guys, I'm rocking the normal controller that you get with your PS4 because my Star Wars, I have been for a couple of days because this one's bad boy is broken. And my mum lost my...
Mum, she can't. I've only got 1%. I'm leaving my phone to charge.
And my
I
mum...
can do it downstairs if you want me to.
My mum lost my camo one.
Team deathmatch.
But yeah, I'm gonna start off snipping. Snipping my business, snipping. Yes guys, I am P4. Highest level in this game. Probably gonna be the person that dies the most. Boy. Oh. Shake A. Now we're pulling out the boy. Right, one death, we're pulling out the boy. Oh, buddy. No. Cuda, how does... Right, guys, how does the Cuda do that much damage on me? That's fake, dude, I swear. Oh, there's one. Where's he here? He's over there, he's using a brekkie. Who wants to use a brekkie these days? I use the KRM, because that's not a brekkie. It's not one of them, one of the, it's one of the least most used ones, but it's not the worst. Because I flushed myself. How's he killed me that quick with just a normal RK5? Because he went like this. How does he shoot so fast with that bird boy? I got to admit the RK5 is a beast. There we go. That's him down. And guys, I just want to say you need to have grip on your arcade, on your yeah, so guys, I need to concentrate a bit. You need to have grip. When I say need to, I mean it. You need to have grip on your VMP because it doesn't have a lot of recoil. I know. Probably gonna get a load of hit markers with it, but I've had enough. Why didn't I pull it out? Guys, I have had enough. Enough. However you guys want to say it. I've had it with the brekkie. I swear that the brekkie haunts me, boy. Brekkie, in my opinion, is one of the best guns.
Kinetic armor good to go.
Let's go. Oh, yo. No. They're definitely winning this game. That is already a GG, boys.
Hostile UAV spotted.
Your Team 10 investors aren't making any money. Boys, I hate Jake Paul. Oh, I'm Jake Paul. Please feel sorry for me. I hope people are Thanksgiving.
Be advised. Hostile care package overhead.
Loads of people have done that, mate. You're not the only one, Jesus.
Pop it KIA.
Boys, I got about 20 minutes, no, 2 hours or something to get these wins. Hang on, I'll check how much wins I need. I think it's about 20, 30, 25, 25, 25. Don't know why I have 2 of them. Boys, right guys, you've never seen me use this gun. It's one reason. I get annoyed by it because people always kill me by it. Trust me when I say this. It's a waste. Should we switch it up? Guys, we need to go for 1-hit kills with a bad boy. Or bow and arrow with reflex. Domination. This is 1. You're gonna be using the KN. What's my most used gun? MP. Sorry for leaving in the mic voice. Boy. Got my wrestling finger.
Domination.
I'm gonna pull out the Banshee first.
This is the future of combat.
Alright. This I got.
Practice. Let's go. Guys, this is my second game
Securing Charlie.
I played on today. Oh my god, I didn't even saw Captain C.
C locked down.
That ain't very
Enemy has Bravo.
good. They're rushing. Yeah, I knew it. They were just gonna rush to B. Right, boys, we're pulling out this gun. Guys, me personally, I'm not good with most guns. So I wouldn't say, me personally, of course. You guys always know what I say. It's not good
Losing
gun.
C.
But it is. Like
Enemy has
everyone, most YouTubers even use it. Like that's how beastly it is. They're coming at me. So I'm right in their spawn.
Losing B.
They have C.
Securing A.
Means I can get A, I think.
Friendly UAV inbound.
Yeah.
A locked down.
That's it. Lockdown and it. Lockdown and it. Lockdown. What is it? Yeah.
Losing Alpha.
I see you.
Threat neutralized.
I see you. Oh squad and a real thing now, boy. Oh squad and a real thing, you know, with a bling ding. Have it with that mad ting. Hit 'em with a ding ding and a ling ling. Shook you with a dung, you know, with a bang bang.
Friendly UAV
There
inbound.
it's see, you know what a bit, ay ay ay
Friendly
ay
care
ay
package incoming.
ay ay ay.
Spectre down.
This is all I needed.
Care package on standby.
Friendly UAV
I was
inbound.
just about to say we'll try to go on a streak.
TACOM. Use the
I
care
guess
package
nah.
here.
Losing Bravo. Lost B.
Telling us that. Why has it got blue things around it?
Enemy control.
Oh, that would have been a
Hostile
sick
UAV
kill.
above.
You know, guys, what even play? I died, and then it hit him. Guys, if you didn't know, the zombies maps, you can get DLC weapons such as the Banshee. The Banshee actually bounces, like the bullets bounce, which I think is like too overpowered. Guys, I'm doing a live video.
Securing C.
We'll be losing B right about now. Just about to say right about now.
Maintain current point. UAV.
It's not mine, it's Tommy's. Yes, Kelsey, I only have one.
Losing Alpha.
Leave me alone, I said I'm doing a video. And don't need to speak to me, do you?
Lost Alpha. Care package inbound. There's another round coming up. Don't burn out.
Was you gonna pop it in? Pop
HCXD
that,
inbound.
because the other team is spawning this side apparently.
Kinetic armor drain.
Losing B.
Or not. Side's been switched
All
apparently.
locations secured. Hold your positions.
Well,
Enemy
they
has
go
B.
for B.
HCXD deployed. Good
There we
job.
go, we won.
Do it again and let's go home.
Where's that round? We need one more round to be able to properly win.
Halftime.
Cassie, what are you
Secure the
doing?
objective. Care package inbound.
We meant to be looking for something for Mum.
Securing Alpha. Enemy has C. Alpha locked down. Hostile UAV spotted. Counter UAV inbound.
Why did I challenge him?
Securing Bravo.
Enemy spotted.
That's one. Guys, what I think is going to be hard is trying to get these bloodthirsties out of the way for this.
Enemy has Bravo.
That's going to be a pain in my
Be
butt.
advised. Hostile UAV incoming. Securing C. Be advised. Hostile lightning strike targeting active. Hostile lightning strike inbound.
Oh my. destroy squad shoot for this thing. It's amazing. And guys, I would like to camp on B, but if I have this gun out, so I could try to get it, because my team might start losing now, because the other team is going to be getting 2 points at a row each time, because they have 2 points secured. Oh, I see him. Wait, what? Do I have grip on?
Losing B. Enemy took B.
No, that's fine. I do need B. I'm getting rid of quick draw.
Hostile
At least I
UAV
didn't die by
spotted.
person. That was an accidental throw there. Why is the coolest look like a used gun now? Has it been like buffed? Got better. It might have to be honest. Oh, that was a sick kill there. But we're just gonna throw that out on place.
Securing C.
I knew, I was just about to run up it because I was just about to say there's definitely going to be some around here.
C secure. Losing Charlie.
It was lucky.
We lost C. Securing Bravo.
Boys.
Bravo.
Oh yeah, yo. Got one kill with
Friendly
it.
UAV inbound.
Wrong thing. That would have definitely been the wrong thing to do there, guys. Come on. Come on, challenge me. Challenge me, dare you.
Care package inbound. Losing Bravo.
Land on me.
Lost B.
Wow, he actually took the HCXD well.
Be advised.
Boys, we're
Hostile
going
care package
to try
overhead.
flank them to
Hostile lightning
peek
strike
back
target.
up. They knew it.
Be advised. Hostile lightning strike inbound.
How did they know they didn't have hacking? Because they didn't have a UAV base. But boys, this is trick where like you can do it so you won't die.
The round's nearly over. Try to redeem yourself.
Back here. It's like here
Be
and you like
advised. Hostile hellstorm inbound.
yourself there. I don't know how to do it. Guys, my team are losing.
Be
GG.
advised. Hostile HCXD spotted.
No. Boys, you know what? Guys, I didn't know even with kinetic armor you could die by that.
Friendly HCXD inbound.
I know it.
Securing B.
I think this is how like they're flanking us. No? Okay. No!
Hostile UAV spotted.
Finally, he's doing that. Why can't I just go and kill him?
Securing B.
Yep, no, we're gonna lose.
UAV inbound.
Yeah, because he's up here. Oh no.
Securing B. Hostile hellstorm overhead.
I knew it.
Hostile lightning strike targeting active. Hostile lightning strike.
Might as well just say it now, guys. GG, they've won.
Demo KIA. Spectre KIA.
Securing Bravo.
Boys knows what, I don't know why I'm doing this, but that got me then I was just so annoyed. But guys, we're gonna keep on watching the thinger. Boys, we're just gonna check the time. Okay, I know what the time is now.
Got tasks on all schedules. Check them out.
21 more wins.
Never know what's in these things.
Yeah, it's gonna be all be commons, yeah.
No refund.
I already had one
Consider it done.
do them. Oh.
They were one of the
What's
teams
this
that
one?
absolutely went through and smoked everybody they faced there. They look quite solid. They're names we've seen before. But if FaZe Clan can beat this team, that'd be the great start to the weekend they need.
Obviously, elsewhere as well is that the Rise versus Vitality game, I was telling you that that one was actually surprisingly close. A little bit worried there for Rise. Well, their uplink was pretty intense. I went to the bathroom proof, came back, and you're like, bro, you just missed it. You just missed it. A camo play comes in from Vitality to force the overtime in the uplink. I mean, we'll show you the replay of that and exactly.
Not 720, so
His
it doesn't
favor?
even 11.
I'm pretty sure it did.
They
Obviously,
ended up
we'll-
getting a 1 with like 2:26, I think, to end up winning it.
226. I mean, here's the closing moments of regulation time. You were saying it was kind of crazy.
Oh, it was the Rise.
Oh, it was
yeah, it was Placenta.
Oh, you got me all excited. I thought Europe was doing it. It's a Vitality choke. God damn it.
Oh
Choke.
my God. Some things don't
Guys,
change,
you're gonna
Benson.
have to get
Oh,
Some things
Wow.
don't
play
change.
some
where's Momo?
Don't kill me.
more
Don't kill me.
games,
I'm sorry.
please.
I take it back.
Oh no. It
Then I think we
was...
might
So we
find
do get
some
OT, it
more
looks like.
infinite
Unless somehow the
We
drone
need to
travels
get
real
to
far.
least
Okay.
10 more
An Aaron
wins.
Rodgers one.
Oh, so actually the HUD is the wrong way around here. Rise is actually yellow.
I
Yeah,
need to get 10 more
If
wins.
Vitality is
that's
purple, so,
today.
so Vitality
It's
actually
been
have the 1-0
different day,
lead
I
here
can
with
get
43
10
seconds left. We'll see if Rise is actually able to get a potential point.
Guys,
in
the
here
only reason I'm
towards the
watching this game
closing
because I
moments.
think
Zaka with the drone, is he gonna be able to
FaZe
get it?
are
Oh, we
playing.
hit those! We hit those! He's 42 and 32 as well, by the
Oh
way.
my God. Cap
Wait,
is
a
sitting
FaZe
at
player.
somewhere in this
No.
venue just laughing right now.
Yeah.
For all the crap that he got for missing that one.
Cap's
boys, I'm the only one online. Wow. Swift. Who's the owner? Boy. Guys,